Alright, so I probably mentioned this in an earlier video. I decided to run the supports all the way through from the top to the bottom of the rims so that if you get a crack right here against the liner, it's very difficult to repair because you can't get a splice in there. So I like to run mine all the way through. So these are square. They're about 5/16 by a quarter high, I think. I'm just going to carve them down a little bit so they're a little more rounded off. They don't need to be this thick. It's really too small to get a plane into, so you got to use a chisel. And I'll just chisel them all out and then finish them up with sandpaper. Also have some glue that needs to be scraped out of here as well. And I'll either do it with a chisel like this, pop it out of there. That seems to be working just fine. Yeah, we'll go that route. And then, yeah, so be cleaning up the supports, getting those chiseled down to where they are a little less massive, and then also sanding them out and then cleaning up the glue. And then the very last thing I'll do on the inside is sand in between all of this stuff. I've been debating a sound port. Been debating putting a sound port. Actually, be this one. This is the top of the guitar. Some sort of a sound port that would be coming out. You can't see the. But I'm not sure I'm going to do that on this guitar. I may not. I may save that for the next one. Don't want to try too many things all at once because then you don't know what's actually making the difference. And the only thing I'm really experimenting here is that I'm not going to have scallop bracing and my wood choices, and the fact that it's an OM 14 fret rather than a 12 fret triple O. The OM and triple O are sort of synonymous. Body shapes are a little teeny bit different depending on whether it's a 12 or a 14 fret. Anyway, so I'm going to do this because I want to run these down to where they're kind of right through the middle, so I have a point here, which I'll soften with sandpaper. I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but I just had a Martin in here. All they had was a linen strip where the supports would have been. I've also seen other placement of these things where they're like on either side of the waist. Then you have one out here and here, and then maybe one out here, and then maybe one up here. You can't see over here. Anyway, different spacing on either side of the waist rather than on the waist. I'm pretty sure that's how I built the last one. I think I just put it where the plan showed it, so I'd have to double check the plan though to see if that was definitely the case. Okay, I'm going to turn this around. May or not be a good place to mention this, but I plan on doing shellac on the inside of the guitar. I did it on the last guitar for sure. Pretty sure I did it on the first guitar. I don't think I did the top on either guitar. I think I just did the back and the sides, shellacked them, and then left the soundboard alone. All right, I got to get this flannel off. I'm going to go ahead and sand that out, and then I'll give you an idea of what I have to do, 7 more times. All right, so this is 80 grit. I also probably said somewhere that what species these little pieces of wood are. These are wenge. Looks like wenge the way it's spelled, but for some reason it's pronounced wenge. There might be an accent in it. A little line, I don't know. But I know about proper English you can put in your eye. Oh, to be as eloquent as Ted Woodford. All right, that's it for 80 grit. It's pretty good. What do we got right here? That's 320. Oh, that's 220. I'll get a piece of 120 or something. The sticky back paper and the rolls. And I have just regular paper and, in folders also. I always just run over here and grab a piece of this stuff because it's just easy to get to. So this is 120 grit. Then I'll go 220. Then I'll go 320. I will also be sanding the curving out and the inside of the guitar, and I'll use probably start with 220 on all of this and then 220 on the inside and maybe 320. $220 is probably going to be just fine. I got some little dents in here from the clamps when I glued the curving in. Might just dampen that with a wet paper towel and see if some of that just swells back out rather than try to sand it all out. Okay, I think we are satisfactory there. That looks pretty good. I don't know if I can get it any closer to the camera. I have the camera totally zoomed in, and it's only, I don't know, what is that, 18 inches away. Blue over here. I'll go ahead and carve this one and then also pop any blue out of here that I see. I don't know if I'm in the camera over here where I'm fiddling, but I don't see any real glue issues all the way in there. Okay, so carving again. Anyway, you get the idea. I've got to do this, 7 more times, and just sand it out to 220. And then, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and just wet this to get all the little lines and creases from the clamps out of it. And whatever doesn't swell up, I'll sand out. And then, like I said, I'll sand inside here. So I'll bring you in with the finished product a little later on.